Welcome to this Ubuntu Project video facilitated by Zentertainment Enterprises. Be sure to like and subscribe if you learned something new. Now, onto the video.
Greetings everyone, my name is Takara Taylor, licensed therapist, and today I'm going to bring you episode 4 of my 5-part series titled Navigating the Youth Through the Lens of Emotional Intelligence and Mental Wellness. And so today we're going to talk about self-care. We've been talking about self-regulation and self-awareness. So today we're going to touch on some self-care hacks that tweens and teens can use, just to maintain their sanity. All right, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. So the last few episodes, I talked about things like self-regulation and self-awareness. And today I want to cover self-care because that's also very important, especially for our young people. So this is particularly some self-care hacks that I like to share with you all, particularly for middle schoolers and high schoolers. So, and the reason why I think it's important to talk about this is because I work with a lot of kids and adolescents that not only are they immersed in their academics, they are also immersed in other extracurricular activities such as wrestling, football, basketball, dance, cheer, robotics, theater, musicals, and all the things. They're always busy, and it's almost like they don't even have enough time to even pay attention to what their body's saying or their own personal needs because they're just everywhere. Friends, and I got homework, and I got to do my chores. My parents are yelling at me. I got to go here, got to go there. And where is your self-care routine, right? So that's why I'm going to share with you just my top 10 things that I recommend for tweens and teens to consider when they are establishing some self-care routines for themselves. The first thing that I want to share is this idea of creating a daily routine. I know it sounds cliche, have a schedule, have a routine, but it really, 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 really helps. It's not an exciting thing to do, but it will help bring some sort of balance and stability in your life and some structure that you may not have right now and that may be contributing to your mental health issues. And so having a daily routine, such as time for schoolwork, time for physical activities, time for your hobbies, your time to relax. Having a routine, you can kind of incorporate things in your schedule that feels more balanced for you, especially when we're always going. Is there gaps in your schedule where you can just chill, right, and do something that you enjoy that's good for you? An idea is just balance. You don't want to go hard too much on the fun stuff, and then you're not taking care of your schoolwork, because then you get bad grades, and then that causes other issues. So you want to make time for all the things that are important to your success and your well-being. Another thing that I want to talk about as it relates to self-care for our youth is diet. What are you putting in your body, right? Sometimes the things that we put in our body is not conducive to our mental health, meaning it doesn't support our mental health. It can actually make things worse. The one thing that I'm thinking about is a lot of kids I'm noticing, they like to drink these energy drinks. They were drinking coffee, they're drinking Mountain Dew, stuff that's loaded with caffeine. And some of these kids, they start having anxiety and panic attacks, not eating breakfast. And then now you're chugging down a Celsius drink or Red Bull or Monster. And now you have this panic attack, anxiety attack. You don't know why it's happening. It's because of what you're putting in your body. If you're already an anxious person, when you take in a stimulant such as caffeine, too much of it will exacerbate your anxiety. And, I really encourage teens and tweens to sort of think about cutting back on their caffeine intake. I've had kids say, "Oh, I drink a monster a day or two monsters a day." That's a lot of caffeine that you don't need for your body. Um, Caffeine is not always good for your heart if you have too much of it. And so just some things to think about. But yes, having a healthy, balanced diet with vegetables, fruits, whole grains, drinking water, I think just trying to stay on the healthier side when it comes to your diet than the unhealthy stuff can help. That's practicing good self-care, but it can help your mental health. Even the sugar intake. If you do some research on sugar, you'll see all of the kind of negative things that we come to know about sugar. And so, so there's that. So healthy eating, that's my second hack. Another hack that I have is the favorite one that all my tweens and teens love to hear is limiting your screen time. Yes. Take breaks from the screen. That includes social media, video games, those chat groups that y'all love to be a part of. Too much screen time is not good for your mental health. It can affect your sleep patterns. I think it will be good to sometimes take a break from the screen and focus on other hobbies and interests that you find enjoyable. Even if it's just kind of listening to music or drawing or writing, playing a musical instrument, going out for walks. I know you're on the screen right now, right? Because you're watching this. But when you get off of this, go for a walk. Start making healthier choices. Because once you start making healthier choices, you start to feel better. And then the things that you feel like you used to need, you won't need anymore. And so sometimes the screens, we're chasing dopamine and, it's kind of like we don't have to move. We can just sit here and do this. But social media can really have an impact on your mental health. You're comparing yourself to other people. Sometimes it can, spark jealousy and you start feeling bad about yourself. People gossip all the time on social media. It can really be a toxic place. It's not always a toxic place. There's some healthy things about social media, but you just got to limit your interactions on social media just so you can maintain your sense of self and your sanity, like I said before. So yes, limit screen time. Give yourself some limits. Maybe, no more than 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day. I know I have some parents that also have control over their kids, like screen time, and they negotiate, what's acceptable versus what is not for their household. And so I encourage the same. For my son, he has to come home and, do all the things in his routine before he can get to the video games. Did you do your homework, right? So that goes to create that routine, like having structure. So you can have a little bit of fun, but also take care of your business. You can be on the screen, do the screen time, but maybe not so much, right? Because sometimes it can be a waste of time to be on there. And that's just my personal opinion, but I think a lot of people agree that scrolling a lot can be wasteful. Another hack that I love is the idea of learning something new. I really love this idea of learning new things, especially things that you think that you will enjoy. So for instance, within this past month, my son and I, who is 12 years old, so he's a tween, we learned how to play pickleball. And so we discovered that we liked it and we want to keep playing it, and it will be something that we do together over the summer to spend time together. But we had to learn it. We had to learn something new in order to incorporate it into our life somehow because we enjoyed it. And so when you're on this journey of self-discovery, when we talked about like identity development, part of that is being able to learn something new. And when you learn something new, you discover you like it, man, that feels good. And that can be good for your mental health. So definitely incorporate learning something new in your self-care routine. Another hack I am suggesting is it's kind of like a twofold. Um, you want to be able to maintain some friendships, being social, staying connected with the friends you enjoy being around, but also you want to maintain some healthy boundaries as well. And so you don't want to be, um, in the midst of trying to maintain friendships, you don't want to turn into a people pleaser, which I see themes of that. Um, I see that a lot with girls more so. I mean, some boys too, but a lot of the girls that I work with, teenage girls I work with, they really they try to fit in and they get into the people pleasing and they pretend that they like stuff that they really don't. You know, you want to have friendships, but you also want to have your own sense of self established so you can be able to set boundaries to say, no, I don't like that, or it's not a good idea for me to do, or, being able to kind of find power in your no's just as much as you find in your yeses, I should say. Um, but definitely being connected with friends and people that you love and care about, and you have a good time together. It's not toxic. That can be really good for your self care. Just kind of being in the company of good people. Um, Now the other side of that is like you got to be selective. So that requires you to be able to put boundaries in place for yourself to know like if the person or a group of people that you were associating with, what are their values, what do they believe in, do they make good decisions about their life, are they skipping school, are they causing fights, like do you want to hang out with that? And I know we all have people have issues and that we all have to know that they have to work on, but you don't have to be at front row seat with some individuals who seem to just struggle socially and not a good influence. And so just something to think about for my teens and tweens, because I know that social setting, you want to have friends, you want to fit in, you kind of show up sometimes inauthentically to sustain friendships. And I'm encouraging you that that's not really good for your self-care. And so in your midst of choosing friends, you got to choose the friends that are good for your mental health and not toxic, right? The next self care hack I want to discuss is sleep. You need to get at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Yes, I'm talking to you. You should try to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Now, as part of that package deal, you should also limit your screen time leading up to bedtime. So I would say like an hour. Studies have shown like an hour, 2 hours before bed, you should try to not be on your screen. There's lots of studies about blue light exposure and how it impacts our sleep. And so your quality of sleep can be reduced if you are falling asleep like this with the phone in hand. You know how like I do. You don't want to do that. So definitely get enough sleep. I don't need to say that again, right? Now go to sleep. All right, so quick recap as it relates to creating a self-care plan for your life, particularly this is for the middle schoolers and high schoolers. One, you want to establish a healthy routine, a daily routine. You want to incorporate different things like your mental health routine, your schoolwork, kind of like a balance of fun and take care of business. Um, the second thing I mentioned was the diet. Eating healthy, eating fruits, vegetables, limiting your caffeine intake. Caffeine exacerbates anxiety. I've had a few teenagers that I work with that they start having anxiety and panic attacks, and then I start asking them like, like what caused it? They couldn't really identify a trigger. And then that's why I said, well, what did you eat, or what and they may say I didn't have breakfast, but then they chug down a Monster energy drink on an empty stomach. That's why you probably had an anxiety attack, right? Oh, um, so just an example. So again, try to eat healthy. I know it's hard. Trust me. The third thing I think we talked about was limiting screen time. Yes, get off those screens. Get outside. get out hanging with good friends, right? Good friends who make good choices, right? Get out and learn something new. All that is part of the self-care plan. Being social, creating or learning something new. You also want to get sleep. That's the other thing we talked about, getting enough sleep. We said, what? How many hours? 8 to 10. So I know it's hard, but it can get really hard to get enough sleep if you got your phone in your face before you go to bed. It's not really good quality sleep. So consider all those things, and being a tween, being a teenager, middle school, high school. I know it can get difficult, right? You're in school all day. It's like a job that you don't get paid for, right? You got to go to this place, spend about 6 hours, and then you got to deal with the politics involved with the school setting, and then you got to you got extracurricular activities going on, and you're just kind of a busybody, but you're not like taking care of yourself in the midst of all that. And so this is just a friendly reminder to not forget to tend to your needs, your mental health. Get a therapist if you're struggling with any depression, anxiety, or any other issues, friend issues, or yeah. So I think that's all I have, and thank you for watching.
Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to know when we upload a new video.